what would it take for you to reduce your position at this point? There's lots of people asking that general question about like, it seems like there's people that are thinking, is it going to stop? Is the bull market going to stop? And how do they tell? And what would you do?
Like, I'm not you, right? And everyone has their own strategy and their own risk tolerance and their own ability to act with short timing. And so you should always take a long-term view, and you should always have a plan that suits you. What I do is really specific to, my job is really looking at the markets all the time. So when I see bearish phases, I'll sell immediately, because it's, a big chunk is my trade account on exchanges. And so I move to cash, and the rest I let ride, because that's my sovereign stack. And then, I'm constantly taking profits to cash, and then I'm, putting into cash yield and other investments. So I try to keep a very sort of specific portfolio, always a minimum of 10% in cash. And I said last time, that cash is for IQ protection. Like in a down market, you want to retain your sanity and your ability to think. And when you have zero cash, when the thing's crashing, you tend to lose it. And you probably find that your IQ drops, and you won't be able to have a rational decision at the bottom. It'll be emotional. I always keep 10% in cash. The amount of exposure I have will vary depending on, the price action regime, and it swings massive. Like I could be like here, I was very much leveraged, and then I went to cash around here, around the time I sent out that we're going into multi-months of bear, around there. I went to cash. People sometimes think I sold the top there because they think I'm some sort of, legend or something. But no, it took a while for the on-chain to go, yeah, this is screwed. And I sold to cash. But that was just my exchange account. So that's my plan. And if we start to enter any kind of phase that looks like long-term topish, I might move my cash positioning to 15%. When I say cash positioning, I mean not the cash sitting on exchange that can go back into Bitcoin at a drop of a hat. I mean, like, this is going and being deployed into that cash instrument that's generating a yield, that hedge fund, this or that. So that stuff's much, they're kind of on a monthly schedule that the windows are open to put money into those kind of instruments. So that's my plan. It's not like the 2017 plan. The 2017 plan was ride this up and not trying to time the top. Wait for this dead cat bounce. Whenever it crashes, there's always one bounce. Wait for the dead cat bounce, and then look at the market structure. And the market structure here was bearish because the volume had dropped away from the blockchain. So that was my plan, which I executed. I sold around 12,000, 11 to 12,000. It wasn't the 20,000, but at least I didn't sell here, trying to time the like 10,000 top. Because a lot of people thought 10,000 was the top. I didn't sell the 7,000. I just said, I'm not going to try and time it. I need a solid signal. And then I sold all of it. And then I waited till here, into this zone here I accumulated. I mean, just have a plan that suits you. And I think I was the only one that was trading NVT at the time. So that was a signal that was more likely to work because no one else was looking at it. Now it's more measured. I'm just going to diversify and keep cash. And my view of it is that we're entering the last cycle, meaning this is going to do a drunken wander upwards like this and not look like your 4-year parabolic. The vertical reds are the halvenings, and we have that 1, 2, and then everyone's expecting a 3 and a 4. I'm going, no, I think it's drunken walk all the way up till we reach the million or the 10 million or whatever the saturation point gets to. And so that just takes a different strategy for me.
Bitcoin Tina likes to say that he thinks Bitcoin is going to bore us to $1 million. It's kind of a
Yeah, I
similar
think
way
that's
of
good.
saying what you say.
Bitcoin's starting to get pretty boring for me. I'm like thinking of like, spinning up other projects now and not so much the analysis side. I want to do, I'm doing more around the delta neutral, the market neutral trades, being involved in funds that are working on that kind of stuff. And so yeah, I think it's a good summary.
Do you think we would see an 80% drop in the bear market? And I guess that's a good question to follow on this. If we're going to be bored on the way up to 1 million and a drunken walk up, it's probably going to be less volatile on the crashes or in the bear
Yeah,
markets.
well, we've seen that the 50% pullback is that we just saw here. That was a 50%, really, 60 to 30, a bit more than 60%. Similarly here in COVID flash crash, right? And again here, 6,000 to 3,000. So I think that's starting to show as a 50% seems to be where the liquidity is found in a liquidation event. All of the pullbacks to date have been liquidations. Thank you, futures contracts. So it's not spot sell-offs. And so it's even a different mechanism. I could see it being an 80 to 85% pullback in a total liquidity failure. But in that case, I'd expect it to spike up pretty quick. It probably 50% is the long-term daily draw down. 85% might be in a wick if like some exchanges completely shit themselves. Certainly not. I think the main thing is not the drawdown, but how long does it take to recover? Like, should it take this over 1 year, like we saw here and here, or is it like 3 or 4 months? I don't think we'll see the 1 year recoveries and pullbacks.
You've talked before about the difference between there's going to be a parabolic blow off top. Ivor Lynn has asked if you think that there's going to be a parabolic phase, or do you think that there's like a macroeconomic shift that could take Bitcoin into a bear market? Just kind of your general thoughts about the future of the Bitcoin market and how it ties to macro.
I don't think we'll get a parabolic blow off top. And I think what we saw with this rounded top here is a sign of things to come, because the market's very sophisticated now. You don't really see blow off tops in equities. You see it in penny stocks. You'll see it in altcoins. You'll see it in Bitcoin when it was very young. But now it's much more sophisticated. A lot of money to be done taking the short side as well when it gets overheated. Yeah, I think we'll get more rounded tops. It will start to look more like the larger markets, like the equities markets moving forward. I'm not thinking, I think all these predictions of 400,000, they're contingent of a blow off top. Like this top model here, you seem to hit it on a blow off top. And so that target right now is in the 210,000. But I'm not sure if we're going to get a blow off top anymore. I'm looking at this kind of stuff, and this I mean, the FOMO in here was comparable to the FOMO in here, right? We were around, we saw it, and then we got a rounded top as the big guy started to dump and divest over a distribution top.